Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if I'm coming too hot. Is it coming really hot? Really hot? Really, 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 really hot? I gotta clean my trackball. Hey, don't mess with my trackball. Oh, it's all messed up. It's all dirty. Need to clean it. I hope everybody's doing well after this weekend synth comité. I'm very excited for this week. It's gonna be a great week. I have surprises this week. I don't have an intro music. I should have an intro music. Um, as you can tell, my kids are in the background. So if you hear noise in the background, what's going on, Aaron parties? Welcome to the show. This is another episode of Tactical Meaty Tuesday night show. Like always around, kind of around this time, 11 o'clock. Had many things to do. Just hold on for a minute. I'll be right back. One moment, please. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm back with the flow. I'm back with the flow. As you can tell, I don't know if you guys been watching the kumite. The synth kumite has been really exciting. This past Sunday was a great show. Everybody's putting a big effort, amazing effort in their music. I got to sing in two songs right now, which is awesome. That I got to sing with. I got to sing in two songs, and sorry, and yeah, awesome. As you can see, the setup has changed a little bit. Uh, as you can see, we got the new headliners. Uh, this one right here. There you go. I gotta sit it. These are the new headliner desktop. What you call this? The desktop synthesizer stands is a two-tier, but as you can see now, I can have my piano in front of my machines, and they feel really well. I can write all my music very quickly and really comfortable. Um, this guy right here is up for sale. You're gonna find it on Sweetwater Gear Exchange. I have it there on sale. You can go. It's called Tacman. That's my store in Sweetwater, and you can go and find that one. That's the last piece I got. I sold two more pieces. I sold a Cobalt Expander. I had to part ways with the Cobalt Expander because I have plenty of synthesis, and I think it was more of the same. So today, today I want to talk about synthesis and how am I able to do how am I able to do simple stuff like DeepMind type of sounds with the MC707. And that's the greatest thing about all of this is that the MC707 has such a great synthesizer or synthesis that the DeepMind is actually has become obsolete for me, and that's why I'm getting rid of it. Um, and I also have things more new stuff coming. There's new stuff coming, and that's gonna be it. So, um, how am I gonna do this? We want to do a comparison. Want to do this right quick. The MPC right now, it's 707. Let's go here close. Okay, so that's the 707 on a brand new patch, and it's a brand new patch on, and I have it on easy, and I have learned how to use it, most of it. I have learned how to use it, so it's pretty cool that they did this. It also has a sort of a type of a FM synthesis in it too, and it has traditional virtual analog, which I want to show you. If you can see over here on the DeepMind has 3 oscillators. It has oscillator 1 and 2, plus it has an extra oscillator, which is another square that you can add onto the equation, right? So it's like a sub, probably like a sub or something like that. Anyways, what I want to show you is I can make exactly the same sound of the DeepMind inside the MC707. This is the DeepMind. So we're gonna make the same sound. We're gonna make it over here in the 707 right quick. And it starts with a saw, and then the second voice is gonna be a square, and third voice is gonna be another square, right? And that third square, you know, we can add PWM and all that stuff, but what I'm trying to say is that you're gonna be able to hear it. That's the only thing, is that this one is louder. So we're gonna level match it. And the amp, we're gonna put some more release. There you go. Now let's hear the DeepMind. Yeah, that's too loud. Oh, what's making that noise now? There's something making that. There's something making a noise. What is it? There you go. Okay, we have this one. And then we go to the MC707. We're gonna put a little bit more release. Now we're gonna play the DeepMind. If we add a little bit more release on the DeepMind. Now that was the DeepMind. This is the MC707. short that a little bit. A little bit more. Let's go 400. Okay, that's 707. This is DeepMind. Now you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but it's very, very close. Now, it's still a little bit off. Right now, this is the DeepMind. I want you to hear this. I think you can hear the analog detuning on it. So we're gonna go on the MC707 and we're gonna change. I don't have it because I'm not doing a tutorial, but this is like an explanation. Right now, I can do and add some analog feel. And I'm gonna add only 8 of an analog feel, and now you're gonna hear it. Analog feel. This is the DeepMind, and this is the MC707. You can hear the detuning on it, and on the DeepMind, probably a little bit less detuning. Let's put 4 of analog feel on the MC707. All right, that's the 707. Now we're playing the DeepMind. So it's very close. It could be the amp envelope. Let's take the amp envelope and a little tiny bit of attack. Let's do that. That's a little bit too much, like 8 something. A very. There you go, right there. Right now, that's the 707. This is a DeepMind. And now, the other thing that you need to watch out for is the filter. So you gotta change the filter type. So if you go and you change VCF, and then instead of, you're gonna go to type JP, like Jupiter style, and now we have the same, we're supposed to be having the same style of VCF. And that's the DeepMind, and this is the 707 now. You see, it changed the character a little bit. Now let's do the DeepMind. Very, very, very close. Ah, there's no cowbell right there for you. There you go, some cowbell. So why do I need to have a DeepMind when I have a MC707? And you know, we can do some a little bit more. Let's add some resonance on the filter on the MC707. So we're gonna have half resonance and half of the filter. We're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna add half of the filter, half resonance, and we're gonna go to the DeepMind. That's the DeepMind. Now this is the 707. It probably add a little bit more. Let me see, if it's 1023, half of it would be what? 510 something, 508. That's the 707, and this is the DeepMind. That's the resonance of the DeepMind. Now we're gonna go to the 707. So, I mean, it's not the same 100%, but it's so close. And that's the type of sound you get from the DeepMind. Yeah, this is gonna be an amazing week. I just don't want to spill the beans yet. I'm gonna make another video tomorrow. I have something coming in the mail. It's very exciting. Like I say, guys, we are having a break from the Kumite. Okay, Aaron Party says, how's the patch? Did you go directly to the MPC, then out the 707 DeepMind? Oh, so I'm doing all the MIDI outputs. It's outputting from the MPC. Like the MPC, it's like what I do with the MPC is I set up all the channels. Like I can either write on the MPC or I can write on each box from the MPC. So what I basically do is I use the MPC as a MIDI send type of hub, and then I write it on the machines themselves. It's a little bit better. I mean, you can do it with the sequencer of the MPC and use the MPC sequencer. But what I like to do is I like to use the stuff that comes on the boxes themselves. Like when you use the boxes, like Electron boxes, and they have their own tricks and stuff inside. So what you try to do is you try to use the advantage of those things. Yeah, and it does make a difference. Yeah, and there's other stuff too that happens in here. Is, let's say, on the analog rhythm, sometimes I will take my drums and resample the loops. Like I'll make the drums, I'll resample the drums, I'll put it on just one pad, and it saves the rest of the pads. And you don't want to do that resample being triggered by an external MIDI device. You want to do it with its own internal. That way your loop is perfect, right? It's gonna land perfect all the time. So it loops perfectly. Now, if you trigger the MIDI from the MPC, it might have a little bit of jitter on the MIDI side, and it's not gonna capture the loop perfectly where it loops constantly all the time where it's supposed to. And there's a whole bunch of tricks that I've been learning lately. So when it's time to play back, the MPC provides the clock, but the chain works like this. And I do it like this because I want it to. Hold on one second. Let me try to fix something here right quick. No. I got this. It's making me go crazy. Okay, now it's better. Is that the noise gate is making me lose my mind. Okay, what I was saying was. Okay, what I was saying was that it has to go from the MPC into the MC707. And from the MC707, the MIDI has to go out into the rest of the devices if I want to be able to use the MC707 looper capability. Why is that? If the MC707 is after all the machines on the chain in the MIDI, the looper, it gets out of loop. Like it's not on the loop. It doesn't loop perfectly. I'm gonna open here a looper channel, and we're gonna do a 4 on the floor here right quick with the analog rhythm. And let's hit play. I have play on I'm pressing play on the MPC. I don't know if you can hear that. I might need a little bit more power here. Let's put some input gain. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's can add some volume here. There you go. You can hear that now, right? So we're gonna do a 4 on the floor right quick. Let's do a quick drill. So now I'm gonna go here to my looper. We're gonna do just 16, right? And then we're gonna set up here recording source is mixed out, and we're gonna hit record, and it's gonna record right on time. Okay, now this one is gonna go down, which is the input, and then this is gonna be the looper. You see, it's perfect. It's looping perfectly. That's why I like to do that, because of this. What's going on, Synth Fun? How you doing, man? And I can return everything back to 0, back to normal, and then we can jump in. You know, that's the cool thing about this. Okay, and the other cool thing about it is that we can go into right here. You can add all the tricks of the trade with it. So I go to this looper and I add let's add, hold on, let me do something here. We're gonna do per clip. Okay, okay, on the 707 on the tracks, you can either set the tracks as a track, or you can set it as a clip. When you set it as a clip, each clip that you make, you can change the assignable MFX to it. That means that you can have multiples of the same clip or the same loop with all kinds of different effects. Now, MFX are just one effect, basically one effect per loop or per instrument. A lot of people would think that that's not enough. For me, I think that's more than enough. I'm going to show you something right quick, which means that when you set it to that, you can go into the MFX, and there is it's called a DJ BPM looper, DJ FX looper, BPM looper. No, it's DJ FX looper. And then you're gonna have to assign the switch on C1, which is control 1 right here. You're gonna assign the DJ FX looper loop SW, which is looper switch, and then you want the looper length. I think on the second one, and on the third one, you're gonna want the other one, looper speed, right? And then you got C4, and C4 you cannot control it through here, but C4 can be controlled with the what's that, with the step sequencer. like parameter locking, basically, you're doing here with the step sequence here. So you're sequencing either, or you can do all this stuff and motion record it, or you can step sequence it, whichever way you want it. Now we're gonna hit play, and then we're gonna step sequence the DJ looper switch and all that stuff. Do this one. Okay, a quick reminder, if you're doing this, you have to set one, you gotta set one of the steps to like switch on and one of the steps to switch off. So I have after 4 step to switch off on 13, right? And then you can set the speed of how this thing is gonna go. So I'll go, let's say, on number 10, and I'll do some crazy stuff like that. All right, and let's hit play. Let's see. And I can go on 12 and accelerate it. Like I can put it all the way. Are you seeing what I'm doing here? I just figured that one out right now. So you can play different octaves. And then if you don't want that to be working, you just turn it off. You turn motion off. You see, that's the cool thing about it. And then, let me see. On this one, I want to do, let's see, here. And then that's cool. So you can clear motion. Just erase the whole motion. Okay, so let's say you want to record that. So you press on and then record. So that's recorded that really quickly. Then you can turn it off and then use that whenever you want to use it. Then you can go to the scatter and go like, all right, so you know that's simple stuff. And then you can always turn it off and go back to the original, which is over here. Like let's say you're here, right? And then you go, let's say you jump on your analog rhythm, you go to mute and you program a solo and you go back and you're back into solo. And then you can go over here and fix whatever you want to fix. You can either get out of there and then you can do here, you can copy and then you can go and paste it. You can paste just the sample. You don't want to paste everything, just the sample. and then you go here and then you add a different set of MFX now on the second clip. And let's say I want the ring modulator. Let's assign the knobs right quick. Modulator balance, then you have modulator sense and modulator frequency, and that's on all these three right here, right? And then we're gonna go back to it. Hold on, we gotta trigger it. And then the cool thing is that you can go to clip, right? And here I can jump onto clip 1 right quick. So I'm back on clip number 1. Again, go here, jump to clip number 2. Already with the stuff. And then we can jump back to number 1. And that's the cool thing about this stuff. And then we can jump into the mute, right? And then we can go and like introduce everything. Everything is back and introduced. And then while that's playing there, we can jump back into the regular one over here. And then we can do some crazy stuff with the scatter. And then we're back into the 707's clip. And that's exactly why I kept the 707, even though it's a more simple machine. It's not a Octatrack. I don't want the Octatrack right now because I think this is an outdated piece of gear. I already heard how it sounds. It's a little bit dull on the sound. You know, on the reproduction side, it's kind of dark. This machine right here brings a lot to the table. Like right now, I can show you how I can make this drum sound really good. Even though the analog rhythm sounds good, I can take it a step up a little bit, or I can add stuff that the analog rhythm doesn't have, like a limiter. I can add a limiter and bump up the volume on the drums real nice, right? You don't want to clip, but you can do it and it'll give it a step forward. Or you can add more saturation or a different type of saturation. Also, yeah, that's what's cool about it. And then you can have multiple loopers, not just one. I can have 3 different loopers, and they can do different things, right? Like right now, I have the instruments coming in through the external input of the analog rhythm, because I'm leaving this the left and right external input. It has 4 external inputs in mono, but you have 2 stereo external inputs. I can put the instruments right now and run them separate from the drums, and I can have the instruments be recorded by themselves on a loop, and the drums also recorded separate on a loop, and I can have different loops. Like I can do live looping on demand. I can play it live and it will live loop, and that's the thing. The thing is that that can be done, and it's pretty cool. And then if you press if you press shift and tempo, there's a button here that says step length, and on step length you can choose when is the next clip gonna start. Either is it gonna start after 16 steps, or that first bar, second bar, third bar, up to 8 bars. So you can set the next bar to come after 8 bars, and you can just forget about it and you have 8 bars of time to do other stuff before it changes to the next clip scene. And that's awesome. That's super awesome. Another thing that I have to point out when it comes to that type of workflow is the scenes here. So you have you have 8 scenes that you can program with whatever set of clips you want to use. Like on scene number 1, you can have clip number 7 from the second row, clip number 3 from the first row, and clip number 10 from the last row. And you can do that up to 8 times, but up to 16 banks of that. So when you press hold on, when you press clips, let me see. When you press mutes, when you go to mutes, and these buttons up here are, the scenes. The scenes have each, and I see up to 16 banks of these scenes. There you got 8 by 16, and that's a lot. That's a lot of flexibility with the machine. And today what I'm discussing is basically my setup and how the 707 is working with me and how it is going to be kept. And then this guy right here, the model samples, it's just there for the moment, but it's going to be replaced tomorrow, hopefully when I get yeah, well, yeah, there's lots of choices, and I understand. And but the thing here is a quick workflow. Like, I want to be able to capture my main mix with this one right here. I don't want to write anything per se on this guy. This guy is gonna be like this is gonna be like the placeholder. So whatever I'm doing with this machine and the other machines, they're like, doing all kinds of stuff. And let's say something happened, or I'm about to change to the song, to a different part of the song. I can just loop record what's happening, leave it running, take this volume down, leave that running, do the operation over here, whatever it is that I need to do, and then we can jump back in. And you can even throw some scatter effects before jumping in. So you're holding a scatter effect, then bah, you jump back in there. All right, like this. See? That's it. So one thing I wanted to show you guys really quickly is with the analog rhythm. The analog rhythm has really crazy stuff in there when it comes to performance. And I heard about it, but I haven't practiced it. I didn't practice it before, so I didn't have any idea of what the capabilities were really about. And what it's really about is you have 2 things. You have scenes and you have performance. Performance is on the spot, on the moment performances that you can do with either this quick perform knob or pressure, putting pressure on the pass. How you doing, Sid Samurai? How's it going? Nice to see you. And then on scene is like scene, you just jump from what you were originally doing to something totally different. So let's do a scene right quick, which is my favorite. And with scenes, you can do a lot of stuff, right? And what we're gonna do is let's turn monitoring off. and the source is gonna be the main output. I'm gonna set the threshold right over the dot. All right, right there over the dot, and we're gonna press yes, and then we're gonna hit play, and it's hold on, wait a second. We got the threshold. We don't want to do max length. We're just gonna do 16 step of recording. We're gonna hit yes, and it's armed. We're gonna press play on the MPC-1, and it's gonna reload. It's gonna do the loop over here. Let's see if it works, because I said that if you use external, it might not loop perfectly, but let's see. 139 BPM. All right, let's see if it did. So we're gonna loop it, and we're gonna play it. You see, it doesn't do it well. Let me see. Let's do it just with the. Let's do this with just. Let's adjust the tempo. 139. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do here. We're gonna press yes, and we're gonna hit it. And it didn't do it right. I had to press stop. Let's discard it again. That's it. All right. So that's it. You should be able to loop. You see, now it loops perfectly. When you use you have to use the analog rhythm itself. You can't use external, like trigger it externally, because the MIDI doesn't work perfectly. So now we're gonna save, and whatever, we'll save it, and it'll let you assign it to whatever pad. Let's assign it to that pad right there. So we're gonna go here to that pad, and we're gonna turn the synthesizer off and leave the sample on. All right, let's get out of the scene. So it's a perfect copy. So we can do that. We can do different things. We can have everything triggering. But then we go to scene. We're gonna go to scene. We're gonna do something special with it. We're gonna go to scene, and we're gonna hit the track that we want. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn all the levels down on the different tracks. All the level down, level down, level down. So now when we hit play and we press it, everything is gonna turn off. Okay, and it's not turning off because I didn't put down this guy right here. So this guy right here, while it's playing, we're gonna take the level down. Let me see. Oh, I don't know what I did. Hold on. Let's clear out. Let's clear everything. Let's clear, make sure everything's clear. So what? My watch is listening to me. Okay, so let's track this one scene. All right, let's stop this for a second. Okay, let's stop it for a second. Okay, so this guy needs to be, sorry, needs to be like that. We're still on that thing. It needs to be like that. And then here on the trigger, it needs to be only all the way to 16. So the trigger stops at 16. This is the thing about Electron. You have to have the mindset, and again, there we go. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this sound. There you go. Okay, let me see if I can do it right quick. All right, so we're gonna go into scene. It's not as easy as it looks. So we're on scene, and this guy right here is gonna go. Then this guy is gonna get the volume turned down. This guy get the volume turned down, and this guy get the volume turned down. Then we get the scene. We get out of the scene. Hit play. Okay, I still had one left, which is this guy. Okay, that's cool. So that means when I turn off the scene, all the volumes come back. When I press the scene, they go off. All right. All right, so then we got this guy on the scene. Let's see what happens here. Let me see what happens. It's supposed to. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Let me take this sound and reload the sound. Oh my god. That's what's difficult about this thing right here. Sample, and we're gonna put the recording. Gonna play. Let's mute everything. See. That's why, because it was muted. Okay, good. So now we go to scene. All right, but when I'm not on scene, this. When I'm not on scene, this track needs to be off. But then when I'm on the scene, right, press track, this one. This track needs to be on when I'm on the scene. So when I turn it off, then when I turn it on, you can't tell, because you know I'm pressing, and the okay, this is this is what's happening. When I'm pressing the scene, the looper is gonna play no matter what. But then when I turn off the scene, the looper volume goes all the way to 0, so you cannot hear it. And then you're hearing is what you programmed on the machine, the original loop programmed. Why do you do this? Well, you do this because now I go here into this track and I copy this trigger many times, and I'll do different things. Like I'll go to sample, and then I go to sample, and then I'll go and loop this, put it on a loop, and it's gonna sound kind of crazy. So we hit play, and then we go to our scene. You hear that? So now I changed it. Now I changed it. If I go to the last trigger, and I can put that loop like over here, like really close, and make like a really fast loop. You see that? So if I want to do that, I want to get out of that and go back to the normal one, guys. Okay, so I can go again and repeat the same process over and over again, and I think you get it. So you can do that and many other crazy stuff. What the heck? Whatever, man. Let's do it. Let's go on the scene. Let's play that crazy stuff. Let's go to this track. Let's take this. This one came out good, and I didn't even think about it. There you go. That's perfect right there. Wow. Boom, 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 boom. And I can put another trigger here. And then this trigger, I can put the tuning up. And then to make it easy, and I can retrieve. And you press the scene and it goes out of it. And then the cool thing, I go to the scene, let's choose this scene right here. And then on this scene, I want this track right here to go, I don't know, probably LFO, the filter. Where is the filter frequency? Then we go to the filter frequency. And then we go put some reverb on it. And then we choose the kick, and that kick, we're gonna turn it off. Then we're gonna choose the clap, and we're gonna put some delay on it with some reverb. And that's our scene right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get back to it, you know, back and forth, back and forth. And then you can play with the scatter on your 707. The 707. There you go, 707. Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. And then you're back to the looper that you had over here. And let's say you want to get out, so you don't listen to none of this stuff. And then you want to get and do something else, right? Or let's say I have this one right here. And this one is going to have some, let's put some kicks. Some kicks here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Then we'll go there. And then we go here on mute and we put another trigger in, and then we're gonna go into the model samples. Sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry I blew up your and you get back to it, you know, and this is like you know, this is like you know, like nothing. Like this is easy, you know. Then you go here, and then you can clear everything. Then you go here and clear all. Yes, thank you very much. Then you get back and there's nothing playing. And you can do something else. I mean, this is like everything that you're writing. You're gonna write first, right? We're improvising at the moment, but you can write this. And then you can write all the drum parts or whatnot. And you can improvise, or you can do this on the spot. Like you can do it really on the spot. Like let's do it again. 4 on the floor, and we're gonna do it on the spot right quick. Okay, starting right now. Let's do it. This is the wrong track. Let's lower this a little bit. Then we're gonna hit that. Let's do it. Oh. And we're gonna go to performance, and we're gonna choose one. Then we're gonna go track. We're gonna go filter. And we're gonna go to this guy over here. Okay, so we can do it again. So now you have like, and then you can use the mute. Yeah, and all those type of things, you know, whatever. You get my drift, right? So the only reason why I'm getting into Electron is because of that. When it comes time for me to record and write music, I'm gonna be able to do this per sequence, which is awesome because what happens is that with the MC707, I have it set up in a way that I can go here and I can set up my length, and you know, let's leave it at 16 step, but I can create all these fake clips here, right? And on all these fake clips, well, let's create just a couple. On all the fake clips, I can have program change, and I can send program change to these devices, especially to the electrons, because the MPC does not do that. And that's my point. MPC does not. It has a way of programming pattern changes, but they're not made in a way like it's made here with the MC707. Is compatible with the electron. If I do it on the MPC, what happens is that you have to set like the program change in the first sequence, right? And then you have to set it in a way where you know it's gonna end up triggering the sequence for the second sequence, and it's messed up. It doesn't sync the right way. So you gotta make sure that on your device, your Electron device, you have to program change receive has to be turned on. Okay, so we're gonna hit play. Oh yeah, that's crazy. It's doing, you know what's crazy? Because I lowered the tempo on it, and it's gonna sound weird, but you know, you just take that one, and you just delete it. Delete that clip, and you don't have that clip anymore, and you can make new clips. So now with the pattern change, which is the next thing, so you see I made 10 clips, so they got all the way to 10 on the pattern chaining, like, or on the pattern thing, and you can do that. This is hard to explain. Yeah, the cowbell is still here, bro. I've done some crazy stuff with the cowbell too. There's many ways of playing these devices, but I think I'm all over the place. And what I wanted to speak about was the interaction and why I'm keeping the MC707, why the DeepMind 12 has to leave, because the DeepMind 12, it's a nice synthesizer, and I know it's an analog synthesizer, but I make the same sounds with the 707, you know? And I think this one is resetted. I think it resetted it. It sounds great, and that's on my brain. It sounds really great. You can do some really nice stuff. It's on easy mode right now, so you can put decay. You can set the decay a little bit more. And then you go, oh my God, I left the building. There we go. Let me put some of this. I love the way it sounds. It sounds really good. And then if you put a little bit of amp release here. Then you put a little bit of that analog feel. And then you go and change the filter to a Moog filter. Let's change it to a Moog filter. I'm gonna go change it to a Moog filter. Let's see, type M. And then you can set up to be, instead of poly, we can do mono, and we can do really tight bass lines. And you can make that filter go nastier. Let's make it nice and nasty. And let's make it, let's give it some portamento. Yeah, that's cool, but let me see what else we can do here with this guy. Okay, so we got the matrix. That's right. And you can add crazy stuff like. We go to note, press record, and note will be like. And that I just recorded the whole thing, and then just press play. And then we can go, let's add some distortion. make some distortion right here. It's a little rough. There you go. That's called a tone fattener. And then you can go here, and if you don't like it, it's too high. Yeah, whatever. So, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. There you go. So you can easily do something. By the way, that's the Model Samples. And I think it sounds really loud because I have it in here. It's super loud. There you go, 100. 100. I think now it's better. And it's still very loud. Let me see. It's at 60. Yeah, it's super mega loud. Oh my God. Let me see if I can fix all this. Let's take it down to 50. 50, 50, 50. 50 on the left, 50 on the right. Yeah, I'm all over the place like always. I don't have a set programming for anybody because I don't do tutorials. So I'm just basically what I basically do is just like share my experiences with the equipment that I have. You know what I mean? There's a ton of people out there doing what's it called, tutorials. They get paid to do that. I don't have time to do that. Nobody is paying me to do any of that, so I'm not gonna do it. All right, I'm not gonna do it. Oh man. So yeah. What can I say? What else was it? It was that. It was the scenes on the. Oh, yeah. I didn't get to do that, but I'm gonna show you because I already have loops here. I love the noise. Record it. Yeah. Yeah, those are mine, all of those. I've been recording. Yeah, this one. Let's load it to program. And I'm gonna do just a quick example of things that we can do with your own loops. You create your own loops. You don't buy a loop. Well, if you wanna use, how's it going, EchoCraft? If you wanna, that's the game. Take a drink every time somebody joins the chat. What is it? Symphony? Oh, Symphony and parties. The sound awesome loops. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna take the trigger off. No, let's not do that because I want to use these ones right here for bass lines, right? So we're gonna go on the top ones. And I like these ones too. I usually use the looper samples on the top rows. But here, let's take the synthesizer off. I don't know if you can see it because it's way up there. But you take the synthesizer off and just triggering samples. You go to sample and you find your break. And it's 162. And let's put that over here. 162 on the MPC. Which I don't like to do there. I don't like to do... Well, the loop is already made, so I can use the clock of the MPC, but, you know, cool stuff. Mute. What is it now? Let's take this. No. Cool thing you can do with this one, you can have it that way, and then the length, you gotta put the length all the way to 16 steps, and then with the amp you want to cut it so that way it cuts. So what you can do is yeah. Okay, so you got that one, right? And the original is this one. All right, so you want a new variation will be this one, right? You have that new variation, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna resample it. So you're gonna go to your sampler, and then you're gonna discard the one that you have there. It's already set up at 16. Threshold can go down a little bit more because there's not that much noise. And we press yes. I hit stop and then play, and it will record a new way, a new variation of the same loop, which is here. And you can let it loop. And then you're gonna hit yes. I'm gonna hit yes. I'm gonna assign it to that one or whatever. But you're gonna use the same, you're gonna stay here in the same pattern. So now we're gonna go back to the original one, which sounds like this. And now we're gonna go to scenes, right? And on scenes, you're gonna take that track on scene and press it. And then you're gonna hit sample, and then you're gonna change the sample to the new sample, right? Now on that scene, when that scene is on, it's gonna be on the second version. And when I turn it off, it's gonna go back to the original. So you see what I mean? Now you have two variations of that loop, which I'm gonna have to rename everything, because I have a whole bunch of stuff there that I haven't named. You usually have to name everything, so you don't be trying to surf around. And put the BPM on your loops too. Make sure you put the BPMs that you're working with, so you don't have to be fishing around for BPMs. So let's say now we want a third variation. So let's say we want something different. And then on this one, we're gonna change that's a new variation right there. Then you can add another one here. And then you go to sample, and then you want something. Then let's do a reverse. All right, that's another one. We go here, we do it again. We stop it. We press yes. Let's save it. Save it to this guy. Done. And then we go back to the original, hit play. And then if you wanna add a different variation on this one, you can add that other sample you just did. But make sure always to put the length on it. The length. Oh my God, the length. And then you can do something wild like oh my God, I messed it up. go to sample. And then you did another crazy stuff, and then you. So let's go to the scene. Let's start a different scene. And on this scene, we're gonna choose that track. And then on that track, what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the sample. We're gonna change the sample to the last one. All right, and then see. Hold on. Copy. And go to this one and paste. You hear that? That's crazy. Well, you get it. You get the drift. You get the drift of all this stuff. So, whatever, you know, we're back to normal. So cool stuff about the Elektron workflow, and not just the workflow, the tricks and of the trade with it. And I bet there's more tricks. I'm still a noob with the Elektron machines, especially the flagship ones, and they're not hard. It's the mindset. All right, it's just like the 707. When I got it, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how to fucking start. I'm sorry about the F-bomb. How to start? How do I get with it? What does it do? And what would, you know, how do I go about using it? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just a matter of getting to know the mentality of the people that made it. With the MPC, the mentality of the MPC, I can tell you because I've used them many times, for a long time now. The mentality of the MPC is you're going one direction, right? You're going one direction. You're songwriting, basically. You're like sitting down and you said this is the verse and this is the chorus and then this is second verse and then this is the chorus, second bridge, first bridge, whatever you want to call it. And this is the intro and this is the outro, and that's how you look at it. So you start with the intro, then the first verse, then the bridge, and then the second verse, and then you go into the chorus, whatever, however you do it. You know what I mean? So that's the way the MPC works, because patterns don't go backwards on MPC. Patterns don't jump from one thing to the other. Yes, loops can be played in different places, well, because you can chop them and play them in different consecutive. You can play the different places in different places, right? The different chops in different places. I give it to them for that. But what the MPC cannot do is let's say randomize the sequencer. You make a sequence, you cannot randomize the steps or go backwards. The Roland does that. With the Roland, I can go backwards and forwards, forwards and backwards, or reverse, or random. So I can make different things here and make them go random. Also got probability like Electron, and also have, you can change different things, different pitches per step, all that stuff. But that the MPC doesn't do that. The MPC is more straightforward, regular. It just does regular sampling, like old school style, and and regular sequencing. The MPC has a powerful sequencer, but and I can say, I don't know if to say if it's like the Electron, because um, if you use one step, you cannot change samples per step. Like you will have to make, you will have to change which pad you press per step, not not like you hold. Let's say on the MPC you are on the 16 step sequencer. You don't hold down one of the steps and change the sample. No, you have to change the pad that you're sequencing at that moment, which pad you're sequencing. So that's the difference. And you can only put one sample per pad unless you do the round robin. But the round robin means that every time that triggers is going to trigger a different sample up to 8 times. But that's a different way of doing things. So that's a different mentality. And the MC707 has like a hybrid mentality between Electron and old school Roland style of sequencing, which I love. I don't know why some people don't like Roland. I'm in love with the MC707, really, actually, because it does what you tell it to do, it and it does it. Yeah. So like I said, the DeepMind 12 is gonna leave the studio because the MC707 pretty much the MC707 just gives me so much. Like I go to presets and I can go to synth pads, and let's go on synth pads. That will be like what, like Juno 60? That's what the DeepMind is, kind of a Juno 60. Let me see. Jupiter 6. Juno 106, right? Here's a Juno 106. Juno 106.3. It sounds really good. This is one, yeah, Juno 61. And that's one of the, basically the I don't know if the default program, let me see. One of the first, Heaven KA, let me see. DeepMind. I'll need to look for one. Let me go on A. On A, let me see if they have. That's the Blue Dolphin, but that's not even. I like the way this one sounds better. And then people say that the MC707 has a limitation on the amount of voices. Yes, it does. I think it has like 80 something voices, which is not that much. But what you do is when you make your own, let's say you make your own patch, you just resample it, like make a loop and use it as a loop, right? You can make a loop on that channel. Let's do it actually. Let's choose this one. Let's delete that clip. Let's choose a 4-bar, and we're gonna go 4 bars here. Oh, what is it? Sound. Come on, give me that sound. So we can put the metronome, and then we can play it. I'm gonna make a looper channel, and I'm gonna loop that, and that's channel number 4, and you gotta set up for the looper the channel number 4, and then you'll record it. That's the loop right there. And then this one, you can just clear it, and you can add more to it. You know, and then if you don't like that sound, you just go to your presets and find something else. Let's put some Jupiter 8 strings. All right, if you don't like that, goodbye. You can send a goodbye, and then you can go back to this guy here and then select a different sound, and I think it's wonderful. And then on top of that, um, like you have the Digitone that has pretty much the same capabilities on this side, and the Digitone. That's why I forgot to tell you guys, I got rid of the Hydrasynth 2. Why did I get rid of the Hydrasynth? I'm sorry, but bro, I can do virtual analog with the MC707, and it does it very well. I don't know. I actually like the character on the MC707 compared to the Hydrasynth. The Hydrasynth sounds too. It's nice. It's a very nice synthesizer, and I'm not saying otherwise. Is one of the most. It's very versatile, but at the same time, you know, and I know, yes, a wavetable synthesizer too, and I understand that, but man, I I rather have something else. I rather have something else because, uh, you know, I have here 8 channels, 8 channels, and I can have 3 poly synthesizers on 3 channels, or I can have a poly 2 mono channels. I already have more than enough with 2 of these. With these 2 machines, I got more than enough. With this 2 right here, I got more than enough. I got more than enough with this 2. You know, the MPC has um, the MPC has plugins that I have. I have all of them. So I got the Hype. The Hype synthesizer is a wavetable synthesizer, and the wavetable synthesizer, it does a lot. Like it does a lot of stuff. You know, I have create lids, and let me show you. What do you a warm pad? You know, it has all kinds of stuff. It sounds really good. It has, you know, and I got it more than enough. You know, the analog thing, people talking about analog, and me myself talking about analog, and on certain things it doesn't make a difference. There's certain things that doesn't make a difference. If you want to make a sound just to fill up in the background, you don't. It doesn't need to be analog. It does not. So if you need to if you want to have a upfront very gritty sound, very thick sounding, then you go with analog, and that's what you want. You want the difference, you know. And actually, um, digital synthesizers can do the analog stuff pretty closely, or probably more analog than analog. And I have heard from a lot of very professional people on the internet. I don't have names because I don't know, I don't remember, but their Logic makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because, you know, you have the space saving. I can have a ton of sounds. Now, now, um, it would be cool if companies start making their digital synthesizers with analog amps and analog filters on the output stage of the synthesizer. That would be great. I wish the MC707 had an analog output stage. It would have been it would have been blowing everything out of the water right now because it sounds great the way it is. And this is the hype. And then on the hype, I can go to an initialize patch, and it says analog initialized. You got wavetable, virtual analog, FM plus wavetable, and you got regular wavetable. So you don't get super crazy wavetables. Let me see. PWM. Then you go on setup, and then on setup you can make it mono. And then you got wavetable position, and then you got the envelope sweep. Then you got the filter. You can do a crazy stuff with the filter cut off, and then you got the amp envelope for the filter, and you can make exciting crazy stuff like this. And that's the MPC. I mean, what else do you want? You want something else? I don't know. I don't want anything else. I think I have more than enough here. You got that one, and then also here you got the Jura synthesizer, and this is basically like a kind of like a Juno 60. So I have another 106 factory bank, and let's see, organ 1. And it sounds good. Sounds very good. A combo organ Celeste. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I think I'm boring everybody here. I know that I'm not the best at this, but yeah, sometimes it's kind of boring, you know. But anyways, everybody else has to go. I gotta go too. so so the you know, no more DeepMind. Hopefully it sells in the next couple days. It's not a bad synthesizer, great synthesizer, but I think that somebody could give it way more use than I do. I think so. Yeah, because I mean, some people would like to have just um it's probably because I it's pretty much I take pretty much the same amount of time doing you know, a patch here or here. It, you know, it don't make no sense to me whatsoever. It, you know, you got two LFOs over there. Here you got two LFOs. I think you have four LFOs, one LFO per page, and that's four against two LFOs, and it has four what you may call it wow, what's the name of it? You got four pitch envelopes. So, you know, if I take this track and I delete it and then I bring up another track and I'm gonna go after this because I'm tired and and let's make a drum. Let's make some drums, and I can take this virtual analog. Let me see, what the hell did it do? No sound. What is wrong with this thing? I think I loaded the wrong thing. There you go. So we're gonna put it on easy, which is on easy right now. It has virtual analog, and then we're gonna put, let's do a square and a triangle. And with the square and the triangle, we're gonna do the filter envelope all the way, and then the pitch envelope all the way. Then we go to the amp. Let's go. There you go. We got Zencore, baby. And a lot of people talk so much shit about Zencore, bro. A lot of people talk crap about Zencore. I don't even know why, but they do. Let me see. I don't have anything running here. So let's make And then on the amp, let's release. Mm-hmm. There you go. And then we can add and we can find some white noise. Let's see if I can. And you can give it. Yeah, so we basically have a kick, and I don't know what else to do. Probably give it some more something. Let's give it some saturation. There you go. You have a kick right there. Yes, you're right. It saves a shit ton of sound, of space on the studio, and you know, I don't know if you guys have this problem, but sometimes you'll get like zoomed in into finding a sound, and let's say you have so many sounds that um, you can start with right quick. Okay, you have an idea in your head, and you don't want to waste your time. Sometimes you wanna find something quickly. something very quickly. That thing about like spending 3 hours to sound design something, it's cool. It's very cool to sound design, but sometimes it's not cool when you have, let's say, like we're doing now the Kumite, and you have the Kumite right around the corner, and you're gonna be sound designing every single instrument that you're gonna use in your production. It's not realistic. It's cool to sound design when you have the time and you have all the time in the world to sit down, but sometimes you don't. You want a pad sound, you go into the sound menu, there's a pad, hit pad. We have a pad, let's go. Write something, you know? And that's the point. And you know, you do that, and that's it. It is what it is. I mean, what else can we do? Right? Let's do some crazy stuff here before I go. Let's clear this thing. Okay, so we're going with 2 measures. Let's delete, no, cancel. Let's delete just the clip. 2 measures. Let's do 3. Let's do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get a preset right quick, boy. Oh, that's right. Let's put that click on. And then let's do 4 measures. Let's record it. Then we hit quantize. And then let's hit clip quantize. And on the other one too. We already got something going on right quick. Let's go sample here. And then we're gonna mute it for a second so I can start this thing here. There we go, baby. Let's rock and roll. Sport 4. Let's do it again. Yeah. Now we're gonna go here. We're gonna go on the 707, track number 7, and we're gonna choose another instrument right quick. Let's not miss a beat right now. Let's get a lead. There we go. Do it again. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Let's add another channel. Let's get something else. That's channel 3. Let's put it on number 3. Are we gonna record a loop? You see, it didn't fit. All right, guys. It's about having fun, broskies. You see, that's exactly where it doesn't work. The thing about it is that I have to figure it out. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with this situation, because you see, as soon as I add internal sounds, it does not loop the right way for some reason. Like, it will loop the right way if I loop just the drums right now. Like, and I can loop that. See, it does it really nice when, and it's still, you can hear it. Hold on. And the other thing you have to be careful is on the tempo. Let's set Let's set it to 64 steps because that's a 64 step. That way it does it perfectly. It's just weird. Anyways, you guys, if you can see right there, you can see the jitter from the, so it's never at 162 all the time. It's like it goes up and down between 162 and almost 163 and in between, and that's the problem with the sequences, you know. And that's crazy that it's not doing the right thing. Let's start it over. Let's see now. Yeah, now it's perfect. It wasn't in sync. You gotta be careful when you start and stop a lot of the stuff. Let me check here, quantize. Let me see if I can clip quantize all the time. It sounds weird. I think it's the way let me see if I can do it again. There we go. Now it's recording perfectly. Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Yo, what's up, Hanswell? Oh yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm gonna start working on it tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm not gonna take the break because I things sometimes get really, really like convoluted over here, and I want to be able to have the song ready before we come back from the break. Here, basically, I'm practicing, and I don't know, basically talking about what I've learned with this MC707, with the analog rhythm and stuff like that. You know, because you have beat the beat repeats, and then the beat repeats here on the Elektron. You have to set them up beforehand. You can do it either or by doing a sample loop, which you can do that using the fill button probably. Let's see. I'm gonna copy that trigger. I'm gonna paste it, and then I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna put it for fill, and then on fill, and then I'm gonna go to sample. I'm gonna put loop on, and then we're gonna, I don't know how many steps is that. That'll be 8 step. That's half of it. All right. 8 steps. We put 8 steps, and it should perfectly loop. All right. When I hit fill, then I will do that here. I will do that here and here and here. So when I press fill, it should be able to do all the looping stuff. Really cool. I don't know. Let's see if it happens, right? So it does. There we go. So now I can press fill and it will do it. Just like that. Huh? I make drum bass on the DAW way easier to do exactly what I want to do. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. If you're like live hardware jamming, you're not gonna be doing the same thing you do in the DAW. Unless you use Ableton with a controller and a launchpad, probably can do the same thing. You're still gonna have to set it up. Um, you're still gonna have to set it up anyways. But yeah, how I make my beats, this like this. I don't do none of this stuff. All that stuff that you hear on my music, all the like the drum breaks and the way the drums like resample and shit like that. It's me playing with the audio inside of the playlist. I don't use the machines to do that, right? Not right now. I want to be able to do, like, I want to be comfortable. I'm not comfortable enough yet to do a 2-track and do all the performance live during 3 or 4 minutes of a song. I'm not that confident, not yet, you know. And I feel you when you say that, yeah, because you can grab one of your own loops, drum and bass loops, and just throw it in there, and you can chop it around, and that's cool as hell. That's what I do. I put it on the playlist and I chop it around, you know, all over the place, and I can do reverse stuff. I use FL Studio, so on the FL Studio I use like um I do like I say you can make certain samples unique, and when you make that sample unique, you can add that sample to a specific channel on your mixer and add a shit ton of effects. And when that sample hits, when it triggers, the sample triggers on the playlist, it's gonna trigger with all the effects and all that stuff. I love that shit, man. I'm down with what you're saying, 100%. 100%. That's the way I work too. Uh, but I want to be able to learn how to do this in a live sense, because I want to, not now because I'm not ready, but I want to be able to make a whole live set and play it on my hardware instruments, and that will be cool as hell. So um that's what I'm trying to achieve with with all these machines. And you know, when it comes to synthesis, um I'm getting rid of stuff that is redundant. I think the Hydrasynth was a great synthesizer, but sonically it's not, it's there's no difference. I like the way the MC707 sounds with the virtual analog. Just like using when you use like a Vital or a Serum, you know. Yeah, the DAW is great for sequencing. I don't doubt it, but I find it myself is talking from my perspective. I find it more fun to play with the machines. Yeah, 100%. I just love the way. No, I don't want to get no vintage synthesizer, bro. Hell no, bro. I leave that for you. That's all. They're all yours, man. Yeah, probably if I get like a quirky, it has to be a quirky synthesizer that is satisfying. It cannot be the same old, same old. I mean, like right now, what's the difference? Every single synthesizer has the same thing. It has an amp envelope, a filter envelope, probably 2 or 3. The really good ones, probably 5 oscillators, five LFOs, and you know, that would be like crazy stuff, you know. That's what I'm saying. So like there's a lot of, I don't know if you, that's why you collect. I bet that none of your synthesizers repeat, because most of the shit right now out on the market is the same stuff. It's they give you three oscillators, right? Like just like a Moog, like a Moog. So they give you the three, the one filter for three oscillators, instead of giving you an oscillator per, like a filter per oscillator. They'll give you one big oscillator, one ladder filter oscillator, and then an amp envelope and a filter envelope, and that's it. And then that will be like the Minimo style. So every other synthesizer I see around me or around the internet is basically the same thing over and over again, over and over again and over. It's like a repeat of the same dish. They say, I see how. So that's why I got into the Soviet. Yeah, but I just don't understand why these people, the synthesizer companies right now in this time, the synthesizer companies are not, they're not bringing anything special to the table. It's just the same thing. Is how many times can they sell you the Minimo in a different color palette, probably a different color scheme. Um, I had the Cobalt expander here. It was nice. It's gone. I sold it. It's gone. I loved it, but I sold it because even though you have patching capabilities, um, there's not much to it. I can do that with the MPC. I can do that. you know. Yeah, I don't know. The companies are not. If you're gonna bring me, if you're gonna bring me another synthesizer, like they did it with the Leviathan. The Leviathan synth, I think, is a special synthesizer, and even though it's mostly digital, it's very special because it lets you morph into other stuff. That's crazy. It's just crazy, but it's a time hog. It's like the type of synthesizer that you will have to sit down for 6 hours to figure out a patch, or just figure out the algorithm that you want to use on that patch. Yeah, but the GR Mega is a different perspective on synthesis and sampling, and that's what makes it unique. That's why you like it so much. You do have the Messenger. Okay, the Messenger, I wouldn't say the Messenger is a bad synthesizer. I think it's a good synthesizer. I think because it has wave folding, and it brings probably some screaming styles of sound to it, probably with the sequencer that it has inside. Probably a lot of good stuff coming out of that synthesizer. Um, Yeah, yeah. I was watching earlier Twin Cities Oxygen. He got Ensoniq old school Ensoniq. I don't know if it's a Rumpler or is a sampler, but it has a lot of sampling synthesis on that Ensoniq synthesizer board or whatever. And and I was hearing it, even though he's just testing it, and I was hearing it, and it gives you a really dark sounding. It reproduces a really dark sounding sound, and it makes it way different. And these are 80s synthesizers, and that's the thing, that you got the newer synthesizers right now, and they're not up to the task of bringing you that. Like very few select You know, the ESQ1. What is that ESQ1? It's like a sequencer? The Ensoniq ESQ1. It sounds like fun. There's another guy called the Daydream Sound, and I go to his on Sunday afternoons. I listen to his podcast on YouTube, and he speaks a lot. And that's what he uses. He uses old school samplers, and the old school samplers had way more synthesis and way more capabilities on using sample, but for synthesis, than the new stuff that we got now. The new stuff we got now is it's all right, but it's I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on with these people. Like on the MPC right now, you can make you have kind of a synthesis, but they don't want to go through that route, so they did like a light thing on the MPC. Like if they would have wanted, they could have added a full blown synthesizer in the with the sampling at the same time. It does do synthesis, but it doesn't, like, you would like it to do other stuff, like probably do other stuff like go down to little pieces of grain, like like the GR Mega does, but none of them want to do that, and I don't think is I really don't think it's a hardware limitation. It's just they don't want to do that. They want to stay in the simple sample chopping thing that everybody's been doing for so long. I don't even want to look at records. I don't sample. Like I sample what I do. Like I what I do is I'll make something, I'll sample it, resample it, and change it. That's what I do. That's how I implement sampling into my workflow. But everybody has done the pick up a damn. Come on, man! Everybody picks up a damn fucking disc somewhere and then samples it. Yeah, cool. Been done like a billion times. Nobody's doing something else. Everybody's doing the same old thing. Like, why don't you come up with something really intricate, resample it, like go through the fucking work it, make something that sounds like nothing else, and then resample it, and then implement it in your music and chop it and do things that nobody would go for. And that's where the magic is at. Um, I'm trying to do as much as I can. That's why if I'm gonna do if I'm gonna loop drums, I'm gonna do drum loops. So I'll resample my own drum loops. I'll give it my own flavor and then use that on my music. Not grab a pack. Everybody can go grab a pack of whatever and put it down, and that's easy, you know. Yeah, main thing I do is record a synth to Cubase and chop my synths. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the type of work. That's work. A lot of people are just they grab something and now what they do, you know what they do now? Now they all asking for stem separation because what they want to do is they don't wanna play the part, so they'll do that. They'll take from the file, take it out, and instead of modifying the stem, separated stem, they don't change it. They just take the separated stem and then put it back in, and then I don't know what. That's not work. That's too easy. That's why nobody's like all these people are they go and they demand stem separation. You'll see, oh, it doesn't have stem separation. Oh, FL Studio stem separation sucks. Oh no, it's the greatest. No, this is the greatest stem separation. And you see the other guy. Now we got stem separation on the thing, and oh, now we got stem separation on Serato. Oh no, now we got stem. So, you know, I don't know. I I don't know. Maybe that's it sounds kind of old school the way I'm speaking, but think about it. I think we should be a little bit more musical when it comes to music creation. Or, something that you can see the value of the work. Yeah. Yeah, but well, actually, he said, Hansel says sometimes one note recorder can be flipped in a bunch of ways. I consider myself a dead surgeon, time shifting, pitch shifting. Yes. Well, then actually, that's what I'm doing when I make my beats. I'll make like that last music of I'm a cowboy. I did that. I didn't do that much of pitch shifting, that much of a pitch shifting, but I did a lot of chopping on the drum side. I did a lot of chopping on the drum side, and let me see. I do what I do is crazy stuff like re-chop. Like I will take a part where on the drum machine or on the drums that is not too busy, and I'll make it busy by multiplying, like cutting it into little pieces and multiplying it, and that makes a hell of a lot of difference on a song. Yes, I heard it. Of course, I heard the whole show. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been listening to the whole show from beginning to end, and you're making really, really good stuff. Um, I like your approach because you're using a lot of game sounds too. I hear you. I hear all this game sound. That's cool. I used to rip. I used to rip like CDs. Like you sometimes like there's a website that they have a lot of samples from games, and I forgot. I should go there and download a whole bunch of stuff, and they have it for free. That's you making those sounds. They sound like game sounds. They sound like game one shot sounds. That sounds cool as hell. I'm a really big fan of. I'm a really big fan of game music. Yeah, I need to practice. Yeah, those were my voice. Those aren't rips. So yeah, I need to start learning a little bit more about processing vocals because I really don't know that much about working with vocals and how to make vocals sound in different ways. For me, it's kind of, I'm not, I haven't practiced that yet. Make it sound like that. You made it sound like a really deep voice, but it sounds so clear. I don't know how to do that. That's really cool. Yeah, but the processing, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I need to play more with those things. You remember that song I made for the pop-up kumite, the half reggae, half kind of cyberish. That song is made like that. Not the first half. The first half is like regular, like old school reggae. But the other side, the mellow side, I did that with that song, man. I did a lot of like down pitching, and I did stuff that brought out so much um I don't know, I didn't put any at the end of the song. You can hear like, I don't know what I did there, but it sounds like it sounded like a core of like a core, and I didn't use no core on my song, on that song. I don't know how I got to have that, but it I love that track. That's one of my favorite tracks right now, which is the song is called what? Fu- Future Reggae Future or something like that. Second track, add big crash, pitch shift, one track, and add stereo widening. Ah, so okay, I see that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I need to practice those techniques because that's where the money's at, is on the techniques on how to get these crazy sounds. Yeah, that was the Reggae Kumite, man. I love that song. The second part, the reggae part is normal reggae, but the second part, the I did that. That was done live. That was a live jam that I recorded on one take, and that's why when it goes to that second song, it sounds a little bit dull. Like the sound sounds a little bit different. Is because it was done on one take, and I didn't process it that much. I left it the way it was. On that song, I am not side chaining on that song. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's I think it's the analog rhythm itself with the compressor of the analog rhythm, because that song is mostly the analog rhythm. So what I did is I put all the sounds into the analog rhythm, and then I made most of that song is the analog rhythm. As soon as I got the analog rhythm, that's one of the first songs that I did on this thing. And I think it's the compressor. It has like parallel compression, and what it does, it holds back a little bit and lets some of the highs go in and out. So probably could have been that. I haven't used multi-band compression. Um, you're talking about compressing certain things. Um, what I'm doing with between and kick and bass is that I'm cleaning up my kicks a little bit more, taking like up there, leaving them up there like at 100, and then the bass, cutting it down. I'm trying not to put that much bass information in and out around like 100, and like I tame that. I like side chaining, but I don't do it that much. Yeah, but yeah, that's side chain. I do it when it's like four on the floor. I would do that, or when the kick and the bass have to hit at the same time, I would do it, but not always. It depends on the kick that I'm using. If I'm using a really deep, like really deep kick, it needs side chain, depending on the bass line too. Um, because the other thing I have learned is that you don't have to have that much volume on the bass track. The bass track doesn't need to be so loud. You know what I mean? Uh, I My bass track is it takes a lot of information out of the whole spectrum, so that's why when I'm mixing, I'm trying think of this, not talking about check this, side change your other sounds. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, to duck when what? Side change the other sounds to what? Through multiband sidechain. I don't even know if I have a multiband compressor that does just sidechaining. Yeah. You saying to duck the pad so the pad ducks out of the way? So it feels like the sounds are. Yeah, I feel you on that. I've done that. I've done that before, but I don't know if I even have a multiband compressor that does that. I just got a regular multiband compressor, the fruity one. Let me see. I don't think it even has a. I don't even think that you can even side change with this thing. Nope, that's pretty much it. I don't even have. I don't even have none of that shit. Hold on. A multi-ball compressor that I can sidechain. I doubt it. Well, I mean, every I can achieve all these things like what you're saying. Through the middle, if you like the only path. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's the thing with the machines. The machines are like that's the limitation with the machines. That's why I go with the DAW when it comes to. Yeah, I use FL. Yeah, FL is what I use. Um, I don't know because I've been using it for so long, and I mean I can like, hmm. I mean, depends on what you want to do. I don't know if I needed to do that, I would do that. I just haven't tried it. No, I haven't tried it at all. Yeah, well, the thing with FL is that you can do with FL so many things. Like you can reroute so many stuff in there, especially in the mixer, and I can have side chains everywhere if I wanted to. I can do parallel if I wanted to everywhere. It's like it's the channels are not like they're not like glued into place. Like it doesn't follow the same rules like I can send to a bus like a bus. I can send unlimited amounts of channels to one bus, and from that bus I can send it to another bus if I needed to, and then the other bus to another bus if I wanted to. And then they have this thing called they have different things that are very useful, but I need a better PC. My MacBook M1 Pro, um, on that last song, a cowboy song, it it crashed on me that night. The night before the kumite, it crashed on me 10 times making that song. It was freezing in the middle of while I was doing the stuff. It froze a whole bunch of times. Um, Maximus, yeah, bro. I was nerve wracking, bro, because it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I was like, this thing doesn't let me want to do the what I have to do, and it kept freezing, so I had to stop touching the mouse for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then it came like it unfroze, and then I went and hit save, and then close the program, open it back again, load the same song again, and then it let me work for a couple minutes, and then it started freezing again. Then man, oh man, I almost lost it. So now I have to be careful how I'm working with the FL Studio and the plugins that I load up in there. I need a faster computer. I think I'm gonna change it soon. After this Kumite, probably after summer, I'm gonna get me a really powerful one, because even though right now I have FL Studio open, OBS, and then I have this thing over here. Where is it? I have this thing making like all this effect stuff, and all that stuff is on right now, but you know it's not happening. Not right now. That's not happening. It was happening, you know, when it was happening. Says sick as hell. Well, the Mac Mini, that's what I'm gonna get, but I have to wait because I'm paying off a couple of things that I have in the I have a couple of things that I have to finish paying for, and when I'm done with those in a couple more months, then I'm gonna have a breather, and I'm gonna see if I can get it. It needs to be at least 24 gigabytes of RAM, at least. I want 32, but if I can't get 32, I want 24. And it has to be a faster CPU. I'm tired of this problem. I don't want to do it again. It's 64. Oh, made some crazy stuff. I did this crazy thing. You know what? I'm gonna clear everything. Well, I'm tired, guys. It's a good sound filter on that. What? On that box? Yeah, the it's an analog filter on the Analog Rhythm. I love this box. It just sounds so really special. I really like it. A lot of people don't, because the problem is that most of the people are out there in the hip hop world. They don't understand that there's other other boxes out here. Like this will give you mad 808s, like the type of 808 you can get from this. You can't get it like you can't like I don't hear it nowhere else. That's the thing. I don't hear people making that. Yeah. I'll show you this plastic right there. You see, it sounds really weird, but you change the type and you turn down the mod, and then you turn down to 12, and then you have like a sweep time. You put that up, and then you go to the amp and add a little bit of overdrive, not too much. And that's nasty right there. That's nasty right there. And then you go with the filter and then put the filter down a little bit and add a little bit of resonance, not too much. And it sounds really good. I don't know. And if you go like this, that sounds good. And nobody's using that. And I can drive it some more. If you drive it more, then you go to the filter, add a little bit of envelope, and then that's going on the nasty side. I don't know why, but they say it doesn't sound. People say it doesn't sound good for an 808. I think it sounds really good. I think it sounds really good for an 808. And you got the regular 808, which is this one. This is the regular one. This is like 808, 808. They're gonna like. That's the. Let's see, sweep. This one already had the. Yeah, whatever. Well, I'm done. I think I had enough fun for today. It's been a long day for me. I've been up super early, and I'm still. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I haven't gone to sleep. I gotta work tomorrow. My wife's probably mad at me because I stay up all night doing this, and she knows it. It's Tuesday, man. They know it. They know it. I did everything I had to do this morning, so they shouldn't be pissed off at me. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. It was awesome. It was an awesome day. Um, I'm not good at this stuff of explaining shit, and I'm all over the place. I can't focus. So what you want me to do, huh? Oh yeah, I don't know. It's Let me see if I start doing that thing. I don't have time to go and make a video, then edit it, and then sit down and put it together. I ain't got none of that. I ain't got it. I ain't got it in me. I don't know, bro. I can't do it. Oh, all right, guys. You have a great night, bro. I see you. I see you. Let's make some music. That's what I'm focusing on right now. I want to keep making music and keep bringing stuff. And after the Kumite, I want to keep making more music because I want to keep releasing stuff. It's let's keep it coming, whatever. And I know we're gonna get better. The more we do it, the better it gets. So we keep and do it, man. Keep making music. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, people. I'll see you next time.